we are going to move on to the next part of the program. Please be seated now.
So, for the next 45 minutes or so, we will hear from many devotees about the glories of this personality that we just offered respects to. So, we will start with an offering from His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj, which will be read by his disciple Srila Kishore Mataji. His Holiness.
No, next.
His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj is a very senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada, a godbrother of His Holiness Gopal Goswami Guru Maharaj. And he served with Maharaj for several years in the Juhu project. So it's a very close relationship. So Sri Radhika Kishore Mataji will read.
My dear Gopal Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to your wonderful service to him. Congratulations on your 75th appearance day. My first vivid recollection of you is from 1973. I had heard about you, how you had studied in the Sorbonne in Paris and then at McGill University in Montreal and then held responsible positions with Pepsi Cola and Bristol Myers, and how you would come to the New York temple every day and were so humble that you would go around the temple room and offer obeisances to all the spiritual paintings on the walls. So I had heard about you before I actually met you. For some weeks in 1973, Srila Prabhupada was staying at the Seth Bhogilal Patel's palatial home in Walkeshwar, South Bombay, and you, visiting India, came to meet with him. I was struck by the way the two of you related with each other. Srila Prabhupada dealt with you differently than he dealt with the rest of us disciples. I immediately understood that there was something special about you. 2 years later, Tamal Krishna Goswami, who had been the GBC for India, returned to America and began the Radha Damodar party, and Srila Prabhupada asked you to replace him. Srila Prabhupada had told me that you had worked for a major international company and had your own private office and a car. I was meeting important people in Bombay, and Srila Prabhupada wanted to impress upon me your competence and status. Soon after you arrived in Juhu, you wanted to visit your mother, who lived nearby in Santa Cruz, and you invited me to accompany you. Again, I was struck by your polite and gentle manner and by how considerate and respectful you were with her. I was impressed. When most of us youths in Europe and America became devotees, it was hard for us to visit our parents because most of them did not understand Krishna consciousness and were quite hostile to our becoming devotees. So it was unusual, unique in fact, for me to see such warmth and mutual respect between a non-devotee, albeit Hindu, parent and a devotee child. Juhu was one of Srila Prabhupada's main projects, and he faced many challenges there. First in getting the land, and then in getting the permission to build the temple, and then in actually building the temple. And you and I, under Srila Prabhupada's guidance, we worked together to deal with them. We complemented each other and thus formed an effective team. We had our own individual approaches and strengths and weaknesses, but we were brought together and bound together by Srila Prabhupada's mercy and by our common love for and surrender to his grace. We dealt with many challenges and intrigues together. I cannot count the times we went together to legal firms, accountants' offices, government departments, and social and political leaders' headquarters to get information and support for our efforts on Srila Prabhupada and Sri Sri Radha Ras Bihari's behalf. And eventually, by their grace, things turned around in our favor, and we finally got the permission to build the temple and build it. Srila Prabhupada said that ISKCON was his body, the BBT his heart, and the monies collected his blood. and he entrusted the most important business of publishing and distributing his books in India to you. He was always asking you, where is this book? And when you presented him with a new book, he felt great satisfaction in his heart. In 1977, at a most oppressive and repressive time in Soviet history, you brought Srila Prabhupada's books behind the Iron Curtain very intelligently and resourcefully, introducing them through a book fair in Moscow. And just one day before he left this world, Srila Prabhupada asked for the certificate to be read to his god brothers. Books in the Service of Peace and Progress, a diploma for the Bhakti Vedanta Book Trust, Bombay, given by the first Moscow International Book Fair, USSR. How proud and pleased he must have felt. You always had a tremendous capacity for managing and doing business. Yet, at a certain point, a deep desire formed within your heart that you wanted to preach. In Juhu, you kept talking about how you wanted to go out and give lectures, but you were so fully engaged with managerial duties, you hardly had any time. Still, it was such a profound desire that eventually it was realized. Especially after Srila Prabhupada left, you became one of the most enthusiastic and dynamic speakers of Krishna Katha in the movement. After you began to initiate, you were given the honorific Bhagavat Pad. Bhagavat has two meanings, the book Bhagavat, Srimad Bhagavatam, and the person Bhagavat, in particular for us, Srila Prabhupada. And Pad means feet, foot, and at the feet of. You are always at the feet of Srila Prabhupada, and you are always engaged in the service of Srimad Bhagavatam by publishing it and distributing it and by preaching it and living it. Much has been said about your many wonderful qualities and activities, your impeccable sadhana, your love and service to your deities, your care for devotees, especially your god brothers, your expanding book distribution and developing major projects in India and throughout the world, your cultivating and engaging important and influential people, your tireless traveling and extending yourself for the sake of others, your resilience and perseverance in the face of physical illness and challenges, and your staunch and loyal dedication and enthusiastic loving service to Srila Prabhupada. Although you and I were both attached to Srila Prabhupada and his mission, sometimes we had differences in our understandings or approaches. I tended to be more idealistic and rigid, and you were more practical and flexible. So we had differences on the means, what would be the most effective or beneficial, but never on the ultimate goal, to please Srila Prabhupada and spread Krishna consciousness. You commented, Giriraj and I are like a Vedic couple. We may have differences, but there is no question of divorce. This statement is a testament to your dedication to Srila Prabhupada and your kindness upon me, that you tolerated me with all my faults for the sake of keeping me engaged in Srila Prabhupada's service in Bombay. In the last months, as I was completing my book about Srila Prabhupada and Juhu, I'll Build You a Temple, the Juhu story, we have come even closer. You were kind enough to write a foreword for the book and to offer to encourage the temples in India to distribute it. And nowadays, I often say, Gopal Krishna Maharaj commented, Giriraj and I are like a Vedic couple. We may have differences, but there is no question of divorce. But now we are in love. On the glorious occasion, I appeal to all present, including myself, to imbibe your spirit, to be prepared to make any sacrifice, go to any extreme, and expend any amount of energy for the sake of serving Srila Prabhupada and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I am very honored and humbled to have this opportunity to express some of my appreciation and affection for you, my dear God brother. From the beginning, I saw exceptional good qualities in you, and by your service to our spiritual master, your good qualities have multiplied and matured. You are a beacon of light in this dark world of Kali Yuga, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna swadhamo pagate dharma jnana dibhisa kalau nashtadrishamesha puranarko dhanoditaha. This Bhagavad Puran is as brilliant as the sun. It has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Purana. On this occasion, I pray that you will have many, many more years of good health for serving Srila Prabhupada, the devotees and mission, that we both will continue to serve Srila Prabhupada together even after leaving our present bodies by his and your divine grace. Giriraj Swami Maharaj.
We thank Maharaj for that beautiful offering and thank Sri Radhikeshwari Mataji for reading it. Next, we will have offering by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, read out by Her Grace Raja Bhakti Mataji. And after that, the offering by His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj, who also entered the spiritual world a few years ago, but that offering was written in 2013. Radhanath Maharaj and Gopal Krishna Maharaj were very close friends serving in Mumbai, Srila Prabhupada together.
Hare Krishna. Dear and most blessed disciples of Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, please accept my respectful obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami. I am deeply affected by the love in separation that you are all experiencing at this time. My heart's tears are with each of you. I am presently in the USA. My weak health would not permit me to travel to India, but my heart is there in Sri Vrindavan Dham to be with you to worship His Holiness Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. I am sincerely grateful that I could be with you through the YouTube for the sacred ceremonies in Delhi and at the sacred Samadhi ceremony in Sri Vrindavan Dham. Srila Gopal Krishna Maharaj's fullest blessings, mercy and grace are with all of you at this time and forever as you follow his teachings. Remember him with gratitude and devotion and live in the light of pleasing him. I pray that devotees in all places and all times may strive to follow in the footsteps of Srila Gopala Krishna Goswami Maharaj in his faithfulness, loyalty and total surrender to serving Srila Prabhupada's mission and personally practicing the path of pure bhakti. As I pray for the mercy of your Guru Maharaj, my sincerest prayers are with all of you and I am honored to serve you. Your servant Radhanath Swami.
His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj ki. Now, the Manjari Mataji will read His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj's offering.
Hare Krishna. So as Ranchor Prabhu said, this was written by His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj in 2013 in glorification of Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada often used to lament that high-class Indians were not joining the movement. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj was one of the first high-class Indians to join Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON. Born into an aristocratic family as the son of a commander in the Indian Navy, educated in one of the best universities of Europe, the Sorbonne, very handsome in appearance and successful in life as a company executive in a multinational company in Canada. He had everything that one aspires for in this material world: Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shribi. But when he came in contact with Srila Prabhupada, he left everything and surrendered himself at his lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada was naturally proud to have a disciple like him. His divine grace brought him to India and made him the GBC to lead his movement here. Since then, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj has been serving His divine grace with utmost sincerity and dedication. And due to that, success naturally came to him. Srila Prabhupada made him the GBC for his two most important projects in India, Vrindavan and Bombay. Both the projects developed beyond one's imaginations. In the recent past, we have seen what he has done in Delhi. 20 years back when he had hardly anything there. Now it has been blessed with 6 gorgeous temples and many more in the making. Sitting in the capital city of India, he is rendering an amazing service to our movement. Due to his wonderful relationships with the government officials and ministers, problems of our society in different corners of the world are being solved with such efficiency. Hungary, Russia, and Kazakhstan, to name a few. Srila Prabhupada always emphasized book distribution as the most effective means of spreading our movement. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj has taken up that responsibility as his life and soul. Every year, he is motivating thousands of devotees to distribute millions of books. Needless to say, his temples are winning the recognition as the top book distributors of the West ISKCON world. His sadhana is immaculate. Every morning, he is there at the altar, worshipping their lordships, no matter wherever he is. It is amazing that in spite of his busy schedule and weak health condition, he keeps on performing the Mangal Arati without fail. Then he goes to worship his own deities with such loyalty and love. He is undoubtedly one of the most exemplary devotees of our movement, not only because of his remarkable achievements, but also for his exemplary behavior. He is so humble and tolerant in his dealings with everyone. In the beginning stage of ISKCON, when the young leaders of our movement often displayed a very passionate and aggressive mood, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj maintained a very humble and submissive attitude, displaying his very exalted spiritual position even in those early days. I feel very fortunate to have such a wonderful godbrother and friend. Although I am much junior to him, he treats me with so much respect, which is indeed a display of his love. Since the time I joined, I had the good fortune of serving Srila Prabhupada with him in Vrindavan. I have personally witnessed the love and affection Srila Prabhupada showered upon him, and how he expressed his pride at having such a wonderful disciple. I pray to Krishna that he allows this wonderful devotee to stay with us for many, many years to come and continue to spread his glory. The Sankirtan movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is meant to deliver this world, and in order to accomplish that glorious mission, there is a need for such a brilliant devotee to lead this movement. I express my sincere gratitude to Srila Prabhupada for offering us such a wonderful godbrother and friend.
His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj ki. Before we get on to everyone else's offerings, we have an offering. It's a little bit long from Her Grace Malati Prabhu, who is the GBC of ISKCON Columbus. She's one of Srila Prabhupada's first disciples, oldest and earliest disciples. So we will hear from her regarding the glories of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humbly offered obeisances. All glories to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, ISKCON BBT founder Acharya. All glories to His Holiness Gopal Krishna Das. So I have been requested to say a few words. This morning I had the good fortune of actually turning my Bhagavatam class into a glorification and remembrance of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Das and my dear God sister Ilavadi Dasi, who just passed at 2 a.m. in the morning today. In June 27th, 1969, a letter was sent by His Divine Grace. My dear Gopal Krishna Das, please accept my obeisances. I beg to acknowledge receipt of your letter sent along with your japa beads, and I have duly chanted upon them and initiated you as my disciple. So you should go on with your chanting as you have been doing, and as your name is already Gopala Krishna, there is no need of changing your name. So now you will be known as Gopala Krishna Das. So that was in 69. in 1981 had a slight change of name, Gopal Krishna Goswami. So a few brief snippets, personal observation experience. Upon joining the GBC in 1998, I had an occasion to fly from Mumbai to Mayapur. And as it was for the GBC meeting, there were several sannyasi GBC men present. I was definitely a newbie. It was my first year and my first meeting. And I noticed all these beautiful Vaishnav gentlemen in their saffron, some with dandas, some without, with computer bags in hand, as we prepared to board the plane. And one by one, they all sat down in first class, and I kept going because that's not how I travel. And when I took my seat, I looked across, and the person next to me across the aisle was His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami. And I found out from one of his servants that he doesn't fly first class or business class. Of course, that was some time ago, and hopefully in his later years he took that and made that an exception. But still, he was elderly, somewhat at that point. And by his example, he was showing how any money coming into his hands was intended for serving ISKCON and the devotees of ISKCON. I remembered a conversation between Prabhupada and some senior disciples, GBC type, temple president type, and they were making a switch to cover a crisis or what have you. Gopal Krishna, not Swami at the time because his sannyas came after Prabhupada's departure, so Gopal Krishna Das had just arrived from being in some other point. And Prabhupada looked and he said, "You can send Gopal Krishna Das." And the devotees were thinking, well, maybe he won't want to go because he's, just coming back from wherever he had been serving. So maybe he won't want to go. And Prabhupada looked and he said, no, he will go. He will do it. He's surrendered. And then there was how I went to a Rath Yatra in Delhi. And maybe this was probably 10 or 12 years ago, probably a little more. But, they said, they made an announcement in the Vrindavan temple. There'll be a bus out front going to Delhi for Rath Yatra, so anybody can go get on a bus and join the Rath Yatra. And I thought, yes, and that's what I want to do. So I got on that bus, and we got there just really on time. And His Holiness Gopal Krishna and His Holiness Vedavyasa Priya, the two of them were leading the kirtan. And they weren't just walking along chanting Hare Krishna, they were dancing and chanting Hare Krishna. And this went on non-stop for almost 5 hours. And it was like you didn't ever once see them looking for a place to stop and sit down and refresh. They were so vibrant and so enthusiastic that it made the rest of us feel that we couldn't be anything less, even though we probably did feel like, well, speaking for myself, sitting down and taking a break. But the vibrant example of Maharaj's enthusiastic dancing and chanting for the pleasure of Lord Jagannath was a wonderful sight, and it was the best part of the day for me, actually. There was a particular temple that I'm associated with, and I arrived late, having come in from some place outside of that temple, outside of the country. So I get picked up, I'm brought there, and when we arrive, some person who I had not seen before came to the car and spoke to the driver. And I just got a very funny vibe about that person. And he kept dropping Gopal Krishna Maharaj's name. And I still just like, okay, he's using the name, but who is this person? And I didn't feel comfortable about him. So I told the temple president and his wife, watch out for this person. And they were saying, oh, he's so nice, he's so this or that. And I said, whatever, just watch out. And what do you mean? I don't know, but just watch out for him. Well, it turned out I was totally right. It's called street smarts. You kind of pick it up. Things you can just tell. You can't learn it in school. You either know it or you don't. But, because he had been using Gopal Krishna Goswami's name, I met up with Maharaj in Mayapur during a GBC meeting. And on the last day, I said, Maharaj, I have a quick question here. What about this person? And I gave the name. And he looked very stern, and he kind of straightened up, and he puts his finger up, and he goes, he's a thief. And he said it so firmly. And I said, how do you know this? And he looks at me straight in the eye, and he points his finger at me. He said, you know, after 50 years of doing the service, how to read people. And I realized, yeah, if you don't know, how can you lead, and how can you properly engage? There's a very well-known photo of Maharaj in an ambassador car. It's a black and white photo. He's in the ambassador car. He's over in the passenger side. And his elbow's on the window was down, and so he's got his elbow on the door in the window area. And you see this very nice watch on his wrist. Jamuna's in the back seat. So maybe that will help you if you've seen the picture. So there was an occasion when the head of the EC, the Executive Committee for the GBC, that year it was Prabhu, and he had this idea that he was going to have an open house. And anybody could come on this particular morning, anybody who had anything to say, whatever they wanted to say about the GBC, could come and say it. I thought it was a great idea, of course, and others were not in favor, and others were, okay, well, maybe. But Prabhu was really enthusiastic. He said, this is how the kings in the past, they always had an open house. There has to be accessibility between the king and the subjects. So in our case with the GBC, people have to be able to have access. So it was decided we'll have this open house. So the first person comes in, and he stands up and looks at everybody sitting at our table, and he goes, I think that the GBC members should not wear nice watches, fancy watches. And I was thinking, what? I mean, I had a Walmart watch, and I know other ones who also had Walmart watches, and I felt like I wanted to defend my godbrothers. So I stood up and I said, I really don't think that everybody here is wearing a fancy watch. And he looks at me and he goes, well, Gopal Krishna Goswami has a Rolex. And the Maharaj, in a small voice, not at all a loud defensive voice, he goes, but Srila Prabhupada gave me this watch. And so that watch you see in that picture is the Rolex gifted to Gopal Krishna Goswami by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Just as Srila Prabhupada was not attached to the brand name, because devotees, they quickly found out if you bring him a watch, he'll probably take off the old one and give it to you and put the new one on. He wouldn't be thinking, oh, I can't let go of this, it's a Rolex. He didn't have that mindset. And Gopal Krishna Goswami kept hold of this Rolex because it was Prabhupada's prasadam, and definitely worth taking note of. And in his final will and testament, he makes it's a beautiful document, and maybe some of you have read it, but he makes a couple of wonderful points. I've always been loyal to the governing body of ISKCON and teachings of Srila Prabhupada as reflecting in his books. I would like all my disciples to follow the GBC body. I have never taken one step out of ISKCON. My desire for all my disciples is to cooperate among themselves and ISKCON authority forever. And then he says, I really do not have any assets. There's nothing on my name apart from Rolex watch gifted to me by Prabhupada. And then he makes a couple more, my laptop and 2 mobiles to be handed to my secretary, whoever it may be during my departure. My clothes and sweater to be distributed to my disciples. There's no copyright owned by me. My only asset are my personal deities, and I don't want them to be worshipped by individuals, rather should be kept in a mandir in my zone. So just a reflection of the beautiful personality as a sannyas, the exemplary sannyas that His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj was. Sundar Chaitanya Swami said, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj has a magnetic personality. He's the epitome of a diligent worker. He is resolute, determined, and strong-willed personality. He tirelessly travels preaching. It's remarkable and outstanding. Even if he comes back at 2 a.m. in the morning, he'll be seen at the altar performing Mongol Arti at 4:30 to the Lord. His genuine management and dedication are impeccable. And this was something that was a rare trait, to see a GBC person steadfastly every morning, no matter how late they went to bed the night before, or the morning before in some cases. There he was, if you were in Mayapur, at the Panchatattva altar, ready to offer Mongol Arti. It was extremely inspiring, and it made you want to pull yourself up to a slightly higher standard. My personal conviction is that Gopal Krishna Maharaj was picked by Lord Chaitanya as one of the persons prodded forward to come and serve Srila Prabhupada and the Hare Krishna movement. He was a pillar, and he did never, as he said, never stepped outside of his ISKCON. You never heard him criticizing his godbrothers or criticizing ISKCON. If something had to be said in order to correct it, he could say it. He was clear. But he wasn't somebody to arbitrarily start complaining or criticizing. He was too busy serving to waste his time and energy in that level. So his departure is an enormous loss, not only for his disciples, but for the movement all over. At the same time, he's left behind wonderfully trained disciples who have been with him for an enormous amount of time, up to 43 years, because he started initiating after he became sannyas. And of the newer disciples, you'll be taken care of and trained by the senior disciples so that you too will become pillars of the Hare Krishna movement. And that would be so pleasing to Lord Krishna Goswami, to Srila Prabhupada, and to Lord Chaitanya. So on this occasion, I remember one other point. Even hardcore atheists were attracted by his graceful simplicity. You know, he would speak in a way that was understandable by any person. And at the same time, he was presenting the essence of Krishna consciousness in every word. So every encounter, every gesture, and every answer brought out his inner conviction in the ISKCON mission that he had embraced. So may all of you have that same mood, that same austerity in your life, to keep to your vows, to maintain your commitment to serving the mission and serving Lord Chaitanya's teachings in promoting Srila Prabhupada and taking care and serving not only your godbrothers and godsisters, but everyone within the mission, all of the devotees. Hare Krishna, thank you very much.
Our Grace Malati Prabhu ki. So, I feel very fortunate. Something wonderful has happened. His Grace Mahatma Prabhu has came on this occasion. So, Mahatma Prabhu, if you'd like to speak about Maharaj, we'd like if you can say some words. Yes, you can sit there.
Mam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namah. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesha Srinivadi Paschatya Satarine. So last week in Cincinnati, a disciple of Gopal Krishna Maharaj reminded me that in 2018 I wrote an offering. And I looked for the offering on my computer and couldn't find it, and I asked one of his disciples that I knew if she could find it, and she found it, and I wanted to read it. Dear God, brothers, well-wishers, and disciples of Gopal Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Outside of Gopal Krishna Maharaj coming to Mauritius for a week in the early 90s, I never had the good fortune to personally spend time with him. And I remembered, actually he came to my house once, because Giriraj Swami was at my house and he came to see him, so. And when I was in China, he was there also at the same time. So, but it wasn't a lot of association. But I have observed his activities from a distance, and I would like to share my impressions of him and his service to Srila Prabhupada. What I have seen of Maharaj has made me think of him as a sort of incarnation of Prabhupada's will. I see his tremendous success today in organizing book distribution, establishing temples and other programs, making and training devotees, as a demonstration of his clear understanding of Prabhupada's will, mood, and his intense desire to fulfill it. In other words, like when I think of Gopal Krishna Maharaj, I kind of think of a statue that you can't move, or this sounds derogatory, I don't mean it that way. Like a robot who keeps doing the same thing. Like wherever you put it, he'll just do it, wherever he goes, book distribution, temples, devotees. Take him here, book distribution, temple. Dedicated to ISKCON, that's what the machine does. Very stable and very, very much manifesting Prabhupada's will. I saw Maharaj as someone who hardly ever was aware of his own needs, interests, or desires, but who lived in the world of the desire of his guru. This, coupled with his tremendous ability to get things done, has made him both a rare asset to ISKCON and a dear disciple of Srila Prabhupada. Something I've always felt is when someone pleases Srila Prabhupada on such a level, if we can please that person or be favorable to that person, or become a friend of that person, glorify that person, Prabhupada is pleased. And vice versa. If we criticize that person, belittle, that hurts the heart of Prabhupada. Sometimes a devotee may do something. Maybe we don't like the style in which they did it, and we might say, I wouldn't have done it that way. But you have to recognize the devotees are dear to Prabhupada, and you have to be very careful to not ever criticize someone who's dear to Prabhupada. That's a disaster. That would be a disaster for our own spiritual life. When Prabhupada came to the West, few Indians took Krishna consciousness seriously in the beginning. Do you know this? That for most of the time Prabhupada was here, there were only a handful of Indians that were actually practicing Krishna consciousness. It was extremely rare. Rare in India and rare in the West. Fewer still became disciples. Just the fact that Gopal Krishna Maharaj, so early on in the developing days of ISKCON, extricated himself from a promising career in the West and surrendered his life to Prabhupada is special. That always stood out in my mind because at that time no well-educated Indian with a promising future would ever think of doing such a thing. Same thing today, right? You got a good job, you're not going to just drop out of it, right? So it was quite rare. What has always impressed me was Maharaj's sadhana. Wherever I go, if Gopal Krishna Maharaj is there, he is offering Mangalarti. Doesn't matter what time he takes rest, he's always there on the altar. Also, I'm impressed at how many devotees in the temples in his zone attend Mangalarti. If you go to Delhi, any temple in Delhi, Mangalarti it's packed. It's the most, I think it's the most well-attended part of the morning program. That and Guru Puja, but it seems to be equal, doesn't it? Equally well-attended. Yeah. Obviously, this is due to both his good example and his strict training of his disciples. A few years ago, I was visiting Delhi a few times a year and got to know some of his disciples. I learned from them how Maharaj was instructing and engaging them. It showed me that although he has so many disciples, he would still be involved with the details of the service of many of them. When they would tell me how he instructed them on practical matters, I was always impressed with his down-to-earth wisdom. When he came to Mauritius, when I was there, he was on a strict diet. I believe no oil, spice, and salt. How many of you could do that diet? Maybe one meal, and maybe not even. He didn't complain about the diet and didn't cheat on the side. When I saw what he was eating, I thought to myself, I don't know if I could eat like this for more than a few weeks. Again, I got the impression that personal likes and dislikes were not his concern, but his concern was doing what is best for spreading Krishna consciousness. I want to also express appreciation for how I am taken care of whenever I visit the Delhi temple. His disciples willingly and happily arrange whatever I require. Obviously, because Maharaj asked them to take care of his godbrothers in the same way that they serve him. Before I end this offering, I would like to relate something amusing that happened in Mauritius. For several years, devotees had been asking the leaders in Mauritius to invite Maharaj to visit. And they were reluctant to invite him because they somehow had the impression he might try to control things and that he would try to get devotees to become his disciples. So for a few years they refused to let him come. Finally, devotees convinced the leadership that his presence would be helpful and that these fears are unfounded. When Maharaj finally came to Mauritius, there were no indications that he was trying to control the management or gather disciples. So almost every day, Maharaj would successfully do programs, meet devotees, and be of service in any way he was needed. Seeing that everything went well and that everyone was happy, he would turn to me while smiling and say, "You see, Mahatma, I am not that bad, am I?" Humbly confirming these rumors about him were all false, and that he really wasn't such a bad guy after all. I feel awkward that such an exalted soul would have to say such things to me, but it had become a kind of joke between us. Hare Krishna, Gopal Krishna Maharaj ki jai.
His Grace Mahatma Prabhu ki. We will have one last offering on behalf of a Prabhupada disciple by a devotee, one of Guru Maharaj's closest friends, who is also critically ill. So along with the recitation of the offering, we ask everyone to pray for His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj's good health so that he can continue to serve Srila Prabhupada in the magnanimous ways that he is doing so. This offering will be read by Her Grace Kalindi Sundari Mataji.
Please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Guru Maharaj. This morning, when Guru Maharaj was being evaluated by his medical team, we received the message of the departure of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. This message was immediately conveyed to Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj's eyes were closed, but as soon as he heard the news, he opened his eyes widely and his lips were trembling for a while. He wanted to say something but could not. We also noticed that he clicked on his clicker, indicating that he had silently uttered the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Last 2 days, Guru Maharaj has been going through very basic activities and comprehending whatever we are conveying. His ability to respond verbally has been almost nil. Sometimes he tried to convey something, but he is unable to. When his servant asked him, he wanted to say something for Gopal Krishna Maharaj. He said yes, yes, but he could not speak further. Later, during the examination, when doctor asked him to repeat a few familiar phrases or identify a few familiar objects, he could not speak out, but he indicated by his head movement or by monosyllable answer that he understood what they were asking him. With such extreme weakness, constant oxygen support, and other health condition, his doctors, after a lot of due diligence, advised the caretaker team not to take him out of his residence except to hospital. Guru Maharaj's senior sannyasi disciple and other senior disciple are rushing from their respective location to represent Guru Maharaj and be with the disciple of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj at this critical juncture. Guru Maharaj and His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj have been close friends for more than 50 years in Srila Prabhupada service. Maharaj would always call without fail once in 2 or 3 days to take a update on Guru Maharaj whenever Guru Maharaj is in Delhi or any other zone of Maharaj. This is a great personal loss for Guru Maharaj. We are sure that Guru Maharaj will offer his elaborate glorification and respect to his dear God brother the moment he is in a physical condition to do it. We request all devotees to offer their prayers and glorification to His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj in their respective zones and temples. We also request all of you to offer all support and care to the disciples of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj at this hour of their need. This will greatly please Guru Maharaj. We request all of you to keep intensely praying for quick improvement in the health condition of Guru Maharaj.
His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj ki. So now we will open up to the general devotees. If anyone would like to speak, just to glorify Maharaj briefly, and then finally we will have my father, my mother glorify Maharaj, who were not his disciples, but by nature of me being a disciple, we're very close to him. And finally we have a very senior disciple of Maharaj with us who will speak some words, His Grace Dinadal Prabhu, and then your insignificant servant will end. What? I'll speak at the end. Would anyone like to speak? Premsli Prabhu would like to So yeah, Dindayal Prabhu will speak first.
Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Gopal Krishna Goswami iti namine Prabhupada Saitya Saya Prakasa Vitiracha Pracharam Krutavanu Sadhu Bhagavat Padaya Namo Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Sadakya Chakramilite Mena Tasmai Sri Gurubehe Namaha Hare Krishna. I cannot speak the English nicely, but I have to share a few words, Maharaj. Actually, I joined the 1985 in a marathon. That time I met the Maharaj. I am a new devotee. Then in Bombay. That time you have a lot of groups, the distribution of the books. Maharaj making the who win, he can get a America ticket, maybe can get something. They give the Maharaj like this, encourage the devotee. Just I joined, I don't know anything, ISKCON. But I came the ISKCON first 1983. I saw the Prabhupada first. Then that time India few devotees, Indian devotee, and that time a lot of the Western devotee. They everybody chanted the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That time I get something my mind. This is I know very childhood time Hare Krishna, and I am a grow the Odisha in the village. Then Hare Krishna I know, but what is it special they are doing here? Then you keep coming, keep going like this. Then final 85 in the month of Kartik Purnama, I joined. I told I cannot go now. I cannot stay. I have to go temple. Then I came. Then one of our devotee, I am from Odisha. That time I not speak English that much. We are talking the Hindi, in the Odia, Telugu. Then one of Odia devotee, his name is Brajahari Das. He is a Bombay temple president. That time he is a Sankirtan devotee. Then he saw that, told the Maharaj, he came the new yesterday. Then you send the book distribution, go marathon. Then you are get up the 3 o'clock morning. Here by the Bombay, he have 10 parties. That time only Bombay only one temple, no other temple that time, 85. Then everybody competition. I am a team of the Devi Das. Then Devi you have 3 teams. He put in the one stall, the Bombay temple, he go in the other place. The all place Maharaj, when he's a Bombay, he get up the morning and 9 o'clock, every stall is going in Maharaj, book distribution place. What are they doing? And every day, there is 9 o'clock, then Maharaj telling you have to make prasad, everybody can take the tiffin. They cannot come the temple. You are going to start the 3 o'clock, and the come night, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock coming back the temple. And Maharaj, every time I did the lot of book distribution for in the Andhra Pradesh also. That time the one Maharaj name is Radhanath Swami. He took that time the 86 days the sannyasi. And Maharaj told you have to go book distribution. When you took the sannyasi, you have to go book distribution. That time Maharaj, Narmada Maharaj, took the Egypt from Andhra Pradesh. Then he took the bus. I know little bit Telugu. That time also with Maharaj. You are through Andhra Pradesh, you are travel. One time, Maharaj came the Vijayawada also. Bombay to he came the Hyderabad. And he came the marathon time. Maharaj special came Vijayawada. When Maharaj came Vijayawada that day, you are distribute the one day. That time 250 Bhagavad Gita Maha one day. Then Maharaj told, oh, very good. That time is a very amount, that Bhagavad Gita 250 means one day. Then you were planning to stay there 3 days. Then we are going the response is good. Then he did the 3-4 place. Then you are only Vijayawada. He did the 700 Bhagavad Gita for 3 days. And the Maharaj always said, every time pushing the devotee, Bombay, that time I am Brahmachari, bachelor, that day, hey, where are you? When we came? Then immediately he calling the Sankirtan manager, hey, this bus came. You have to send immediately. Did not give it time. You have to stay 1 week maybe. Then immediately Maharaj, oh, if people go. Like this, the Maharaj giving lot of things. And before I did when I came to the US, before I am the priest in the Radhanath Swami temple. Everything you are finished the Radhanath Swami Sayanarthi. After you are going to meet the Maharaj. When is Maharaj Bombay, he take the Mahamala in the Rasbihari. You have to offer the Maharaj. And the Maharaj have a deities. He telling the one of our God brothers, my God brothers, please come, give the rest. Sometime I did the Maharaj personal service also, night time. That time Maharaj, just to telling the like this, how your son, very small boy, how can it behave? Please go, sleep neither. When you're doing seva, Maharaj tell, you go, tomorrow you come in morning, Mangal Arti, please go. Maharaj giving the love that like children like this. He's a spiritual father, but he's always giving that. One time, myself, I went the one Gaudiya Math in the Puri Maharaj, Bhakti Bhaiva Puri Maharaj temple. Dindal, where are you? Somebody told the Maharaj is a Dindal is a that temple. He called him. आप वो कहा क्या कर रहे उधर नहीं जानेगा अपना इतना घर है तू उधर क्यों जा रहा है महाराज जो मेरा दोस्त है तो मीन से महाराज टेल द हिंदी दैट टाइम मीन क्यों जा रहा है अपना घर है अपना इधर सब क्यों दे जा रहे महाराज मेरा दोस्त लोग मिलने गया था मौत जाओ कभी बहुत को महाराज told so many things and Maharaj giving the all devotees disciple please don't go out please serve the Prabhupada every time any devotee please any devotee any problem something their temple management they want to go then Maharaj no he can change his service but don't go outside. The last year, somehow I not met the long time the Maharaj. Last year I went to the Baltimore. Maharaj came and Ranchur Prabhu also there. His mother, father also there. He took the darshan and he took the two places in the DC also. Same thing. I saw 85 whatever is telling the devotee, same thing. When you go personal, telling same thing. No difference. Oh. जिस प्रकार बच्चे लोग अपना बेटा जैसे बताते हैं बेटा क्या कर रहे तू जा सो जा same thing you not feel the same something new I get just 5 minute chance just I have to go do seva long time back I get a chance then Maharaj दिन दल आप इधर क्या कर रहे हैं आप मंदिर नहीं रहे वो ठीक नहीं है तो मंदिर means don't go our movement to out that is a Maharaj giving the devotee is a disciple serve the Prabhupada this is a main things and a lot of Maharaj also give the oil lot of things but I saw my personal life Maharaj very kindly any Bombay temple is that time is 85 86 is a big problem they're fighting also devotees are disturbing lot of things Maharaj handled okay Prabhupada is there don't worry Prabhupada take care and Maharaj made the devotee whoever not coming the Mangalarti morning prasad don't have Nowadays there is not that much strong, but that time you not coming devotee, Maharaj watching, who is not coming, and he is telling the Devi Nandan. ओ भक्त तो आज खाना प्रसाद नहीं मिलना चाहिए. When is a prasad always sometime going in front of everybody. Why you are sitting? No, no prasad. You have to go clean the temple in front of 1 o'clock. After you can get a prasad. That is nowadays not that much going, but those days is all devotee have to do. Do the toilet to temple cleaning. Everything you have to do. Maharaj instruction. Anybody coming, whoever coming, anybody visit the Radhanath Swami temple, sleep in front of the door 1 week. After you can get the ashram. Anybody coming, no ashram. First night time you can sleep there. Attend Mangalarti, whatever. Maharaj giving the lot of things, but nowadays, no, Maharaj is not a reason. What is there? Everybody take the seriously. They help our movement. That is our goal. And the Prabhupada, what he need, Maharaj did that one. Maharaj suffered a lot of things. Every time tell Maharaj, don't go anywhere, don't go. Maharaj, no. One time the Maharaj start the Russia preaching. Everybody knows that Russia is difficult there. Russia not allowed the green saffron cloth. Maharaj took the saffron cloth, one pant shirt. When you go to the airport, it's changing the dress after you going. Lot of that time you are a book distributor. Any Russian devotee coming, you have to post. You can go there. You can give the Krishna book and the Bhagavad Gita free. Maharaj did lot of things, but I cannot explain a lot of things. But there is but I can take my time. And everybody can pray the Radhanath. Maharaj instruction can everybody can follow that. Hare Krishna.
His Grace Deen Dayal Prabhu ki is a disciple of Maharaj since 1986. 85. Yes, so very senior. Just in the interest of time, we'll limit it to 3 more offerings. So first, my father, Krishna Swarnam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. I know there is time constraint, so I'll try to keep it very short. About 2 years ago, when me and my wife, we were talking about our initiation, the dates have been fixed, location and all that. Rahul at that time, he came and said, Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj is coming to Detroit. I'm going to see Maharaj there. Because he has not decided whom he has to take shelter from. So I didn't have any background about Maharaj. I didn't know much detail. So we discussed internally and said, okay, let's talk to my spiritual master and see what his thoughts are. So Kalkanda Prabhu, immediately we had a quick call. He asked Rahul a couple of questions. He immediately found out that he's really committed and serious about it. And then he advised, you need to get a letter from TC. So I want to thank Yadunatha Chandra Prabhu and all the TC members to kindly giving the letter immediately, because there was just 1 day left. So we went to Detroit, so Rahul waited in the house to meet Maharaj, and it was almost time. He was the last, but he patiently waited. And Maharaj actually then he got a chance to meet Maharaj, and that's the first time he's meeting with Maharaj. Um, Maharaj asked him a few questions, and like who is the GBC, Mother Malati, and some basic ISKCON questions and what he's doing and all. So, and Maharaj was very convinced about his sincerity and so forth. And Gopal Hari Prabhu was there, and he said, "You take care of Rahul." And then he asked, "When are you coming to India?" So we said in December we would come. And so the conversation ended there. He took shelter. So when Gopal Hari Prabhu came outside, he said, when Maharaj asks, when are you coming to India? He is going to initiate you. So Maharaj clearly could judge the sincerity of at the time he was 17 years old or 18 years old, and immediately gave shelter. And anyway, so we planned that. Our initiation was done, and during the time, next day I saw Maharaj in the temple. Rahul introduced me to Maharaj, and Maharaj looked at, I also, is he your dad? I said, yes. So that was a very close interaction there. So then fast forward, we went to Delhi, and then we had already talked to all his assistants and others to say he's coming from Delhi for initiation, and they said yes, he can come. So we went there. Maharaj is not there. Maharaj is in Pune, and the flight was delayed. We are kind of little jet lagged. So they said 8:30, 8:45, Maharaj will be here in the temple in the evening. So we were tired. I said, oh, Maharaj is coming from Pune. Maybe Maharaj is going to be tired and he's going to take rest. But I was wrong. We all rested. But Maharaj came from Pune in the temple, and he was meeting other. Nitya Krishna Prabhu from Detroit was also there. So Nitya Krishna Prabhu was able to see him, and all that happened. So next day morning, we are just waiting in Maharaj's room, and Maharaj came and asked, where are we from? What are we doing? And then we said, oh, we are coming from Columbus. He's coming for initiation. And then he asked, oh, initiation, some details. And then he was actually leaving to Kurukshetra. So we know that initiation is not happening on that day. And then we were so sad. Oh, what happened? Because we have plans to go to Vrindavan that day as well. Then basically we all came down. We were standing in front of the Sita Rama Lakshman's deities in that altar. And then Maharaj came. There were thousands of devotees there in the temple hall. We were in a small group, didn't know what to do. Maharaj was walking. He stopped. He looked at us. He came towards us and said, he asked for more details. What are you going to do today? And we said, okay, we are going to go to Vrindavan. And he asked, how long are you going to stay? And he said, I'll be back today. We'll initiate tomorrow. And then he asked one question, do you want to come to Kurukshetra with us? We didn't know. So basically our priorities were we want to go to Vrindavan. But thinking about now, we could have gone to Kurukshetra with Maharaj. But anyway, so the next day morning, when we went into Maharaj's room, he asked us about me and my wife, and my sister was very helpful. My sister, my brother-in-law, we were all there. Kirti was there, and Maharaj asked Rahul, okay, you're going to take initiation now. You're going to go into college. How are you going to balance your life? Are you sure that you can keep up these commitments and also do your academics? So he said yes. And then usually during initiation, his assistants would have prepared all the names. Nobody knew what name Maharaj was going to give. So he asked, what is your name again? Rahul. I could still have that in my mind. He said, okay, your spiritual name will be Ranchor Das. So that was a great moment for us. And then he told me, why don't you go sit in the Bhagavatam class? Ranchor put him nice clothes. I will take him for Japa walk. So he went to do the Japa walk. And basically, and then last year, when Maharaj was here in US, we got the opportunity to go see Maharaj. The important thing is, if you have heard about others, a lot of senior devotees, Prabhupada disciples talk about Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj is about his memory. So there was a big line for us to go see darshan. They had the Vyasa Puja ceremony, and there was a big line. So we waited as a family. We went. Maharaj could easily tell Ranchor was a disciple, right? Maharaj pointed Ranchor, when are you going back? He said, tomorrow. So tomorrow morning, you come and see me. So anyway, we were able to see Maharaj get his blessings. That was my last opportunity to see Maharaj. But Ranjor got to see Maharaj again last winter. So those were all our very close opportunities to get the blessings from Maharaj and his empowerment, right? I got sick on Tuesday, so I couldn't help Ranchor in organizing any of these. So if you could see how Maharaj has empowered a 19-year boy to organize this event here today. And I want to sincerely thank all the devotees who helped him. And please forgive us for any mistakes or shortcomings. And so thank you, Maharaj. Thank you for being part of our family. And Ranchor has been our inspiration. And Gopal Hari Prabhu, when we were debating whether he should wait until his first year college is done, but Gopal Hari Prabhu said no. If Maharaj said you're ready, go for it, right? If he had not listened to his instruction today, I don't know if he would have gotten instruction, right? So anyway, so thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for coming. It's a great opportunity. Thank you.
Penultimate offering of my mother. She's not present, but she has a voice recording. And then I'll be brief, but I'll add my last offering. And then after that, we were going to do some other bhajans, but I think we'll just do prasadam after that. Yeah.
Hare Krishna devotees, Hare Krishna Ranchor, please accept my humble obeisances. I'm sorry I'm not able to be there in person today. I had to attend previously scheduled work travel. I think there are many qualities of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj that have been discussed already and that you've probably seen in videos. Two things stand out for me that I wanted to share to everyone. Although he is involved in very high profile services, such as running the BBT, being in the GBC, opening these beautiful temples. One thing that we have appreciated is how down to earth he is with people. When you spend time with him, you have the feeling that you are the only person in the room and he gives you his full attention. When we went to Sri Radhanath Mandir for Ranchor's initiation, among a crowd of 200 people, he somehow recognized that we were out of town. We were from out of town and came and personally spoke to us. And during the initiation ceremony, he spent a lot of time talking to every single member of the family. So I would say that down to earth mentality and connecting with people on a very deep level, despite his very high profile leadership qualities, is something that I really like about him. His other quality is immense humility. Every person we've met has a story to share. And these are stories that are not widely known or shared on WhatsApp, or no one will ever know. But every single person has been touched by the fact that he stood for the right thing, made difficult decisions, and cared deeply about people. We have witnessed firsthand his commitment to the Pancha Anga Bhakti. He would come to the temple around 11:30 p.m., but you will see him in the altar the next morning at 4 a.m. Doing Malati to the deities in the altar. So that relentless work ethic, inspired by his steadfast devotion to Srila Prabhupada, his fidelity to Srila Prabhupada's mission in terms of book distribution, empowering devotees of so many ages to do so many grand things all over the world. Those are all qualities that we can learn from. On this occasion, I pray to Srila Prabhupada and His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj that we seriously and sincerely study his life and teachings and aspire to develop and imbibe those qualities. He was living proof of the exemplary Vaishnava behavior, and the standard that he set is an example that we should work hard to emulate. With that, thank you for the opportunity. Hare Krishna.
So one thing I forgot to say, when we were in the initiation in his Maharaj's room, we want to give Dakshina, that envelope. He told, "You're from Columbus, you are building a new temple, right? How far it is?" And then he said, "I don't want this Dakshina, go put it in Hundi." So Maharaj has contributed to the fundraising of the new temple. So his blessings is already there, so we want to make it a reality.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Gopal Krishna Goswami Niti Namine Prabhupada Sahityam Yaprakasa Vitiryacha Pracharam Kritavan Sadhu Bhagavad Pada Tenama. I'll just tell two quick stories. Then two things, one quote from Srimad Bhagavatam describing Maharaj. When I first came on lectures, I came to Guru Maharaj on lectures, I believe one devotee said that Guru Maharaj was so educated but could present this philosophy in such a simple manner that anybody could understand. So I was attracted to his simple, straight to the heart preaching. And I met him in Detroit. Actually, I thought I would meet him the day before. So I thought I ironed a second kurta, and the kurta was not ironed. So I wore a sweatshirt to meet Guru Maharaj. So I came in with a sweatshirt. I offered obeisances. It was COVID time, so I had my mask on. And he asked me to take my mask off and then put it back on again just to see my face. In this process, I forgot to tell him my name. But then I said I want to take shelter. And I gave him the letter. And he asked, "Who is your temple authority?" I asked Premvilas Prabhu. So I said, I was kind of, my brain wasn't fully functioning. Just so stressful, so nervous. So anyways, and I just said Premvilas Prabhu on the spot. I didn't explain it with the temple council. Sorry for Ruji, what is Hare Krishna Prabhu? The devotee that signed that letter was Yadanath Chandra Prabhu. So this random 17-year-old who we had never met, wearing a sweatshirt, didn't say his name, asking for initiation, and gave him a letter and said, "This temple authority," with a different name on it. I don't think I would have accepted somebody like that. But I'm not Guru Maharaj. He said, "You can chant my pranam mantra." Gopal Prabhu said that I should get initiated that year. And I said, "I'll wait until after the first year of college." I finished the first year of college last week. Had I waited, it would have been too late. So I'm glad Maharaj roped me in when I needed. I'd also like to share the last time that I met Maharaj. We met Maharaj personally in Chandigarh. He was supposed to be in Delhi, but then we said we're going to go and drive to Chandigarh. And my uncle was like, "Maybe we shouldn't. But I said, no, we have to go, we have to go, we have to go. I didn't know why I was saying that. I was so determined that we ended up driving 5 hours to Chandigarh. And we waited 4 hours for Maharaj to come. I was serving in the temple, like helping set up, etc. And I was thinking, wow, when I go to see Maharaj, he'll be very happy that I took so much effort to come and see him. Flying from the US and driving 5 hours to Chandigarh and serving. And he came at like 9 o'clock. He was so tired because he came from Radhanath the day before. And I realized, then Maharaj showered. It was probably 9:30 by this time. And I came in and he said, you're from the US. And I realized I told some of senior disciples, but I didn't tell Maharaj's team directly. And that's when I realized that no matter how much we struggle for the spiritual master struggles more for us. He had not taken dinner yet, but he delayed it by 15 minutes just to speak to me. I spoke to Maharaj. I asked him, how should I preach Guru Maharaj? I don't know what to do with my services. And he said, you try your inclination, you preach according to your inclination, but I'm not going to give you anything that Prabhupada didn't give. I was Guru Maharaj's mission from day one till his last breath, only what Prabhupada wants. I realized, I gave my father's spiritual master's book about Prabhupada to him. And then I realized that I'd inconvenienced Maharaj. And I said, Guru Maharaj, I'm sorry, I made you wait 15 minutes for dinner. And Guru Maharaj looked at me and said, it's okay, you're learning. Those were his last words to me in person. Then I went to the youth yatra on the flight back from Kolkata, Delhi to Kolkata. I was thinking, I committed such a great offense. Maybe Maharaj will reject me and I don't know what will happen. And the next day, one of the youth leaders of the yatra, out of all the devotees, came and asked me, do you want to organize the Sankirtan, the book distribution for the yatra? And as Deen Dayal Prabhu said, this was the service that was most dear to Guru Maharaj out of everything. So I said, this is my opportunity. So I said, yes. I remember it was a difficult service, carrying all the boxes. Somebody gave me a bag of books and told me there was Hindi and Bengali books, but there was only Bengali books. And I spent 20 minutes looking through where to find the Hindi books, but it was just Bengali. And as someone who doesn't know either, I was just gaslit by it. But I realized that Guru Maharaj didn't reject. Guru Maharaj kept me in the service of Srila Prabhupada, in his service. And to confirm this, Guru Maharaj asked us to write emails to him every month. As a dutiful disciple I am, I would write it on the last day of the month and send it. Usually I would write it also at 10 p.m., so really cutting it close. On January 31st, 2024, something inspired me at 4 p.m. Radhanath Prabhu was coming and said, you'll be tired afterwards, so write it now. I wrote an email to Guru Maharaj, and when I came back from Radhanath Prabhu's program before I was to sleep, just checked my inbox, and I saw it said, email from Gopal. And I didn't know who this was. I thought it was actually a friend. I have a good friend named Gopal. His name is actually Gopal Krishna Goel. So every time I hear it, I always think of Guru Maharaj. But it was Guru Maharaj. I told him about the yatra, and he said, I'm pleased with your services, especially your book distribution on the local yatra. And then he said, I told Maharaj, like, I'm having some challenges, and it's really strong anarthas. And he said, I appreciate your transparency in your challenges in devotional service. But I'm confident that if you just, with your determination and the shelter of the holy name, you will overcome these challenges. And he ended it saying, I am wishing you all the best in all your spiritual pursuits. Your ever well-wisher in the service of Srila Prabhupada, Gopal Krishna Goswami. That was my last correspondence with Maharaj. 2 weeks ago, Guru Maharaj was coming back from the Rohini temple, and he came on Zoom with his North American disciples. The last words to all of us, the last darshan, he said, wherever we are, if you chant Hare Krishna and I'm chanting Hare Krishna, we will always be together. We had no idea that Maharaj would leave. Maharaj left so quickly, but I think he knew, because he said that he took care of all of us, saying that if you are chanting and I am chanting, then I am always chanting. Maharaj is always chanting. If I am always chanting, then I will be with Maharaj. Maharaj left on the battlefield. Maharaj left in Dehradun. Maharaj left preaching. And a godbrother of Guru Maharaj said that Dehradun is now a dham, because that's where Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj entered the spiritual world. I want to quote one verse from Srimad Bhagavatam that was quoted by the BBT, describing Bhishma Dev. 1:9:30. Thereupon that man who spoke different subjects with thousands of meanings, and who fought on thousands of battlefields and protected thousands of men, stopped speaking and being completely freed from all bondage, withdrew his mind from everything else and fixed his wide open eyes upon the original personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, who stood before him, 4 garments, dressed in yellow garments that glittered and shined. That was Maharaj. He did so much, and at the very end he just meditated on Krishna. I don't know if you heard Lokanath Maharaj saying Maharaj's last words were Hare Krishna. I wanted to end. Maharaj often said that ISKCON is a joint family. That in a joint family, when the father leaves, the kids are never alone. They have their older cousins, and their uncles and their aunts. And I don't think I was ever a good disciple of Guru Maharaj during his presence, and I feel like in the last few days I haven't been a good disciple either. But I know with the support of the joint family that Srila Prabhupada made and Guru Maharaj worked so hard to build, that maybe one day I can be a proper disciple of Guru Maharaj. Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami Guru Maharaj ki jai. Should we end the program now, or? I should sing Jai. I can sing. You can put the lyrics in the screen. Anilo prema daena karuna prachur Se anilo prema daena karuna prachur Enu Prabhu Kota Kera Acharya Thakur Prabhu Kota Gera Jayapataka Kaha mora swarup rupa Kaha sanatana Kaha mora swarup rupa Sanatana Mahadasa Raghunatha Patitapa Dasara Gunata Padita Pavan Kahamora Phata Juga Kahan Kaviraj Amara Bhata Juga Kahan Kaviraj Sakale Kota Gela Gauranataraj Sakale Kota Gela Gauranataraj Pasane Koti Ho Mata Anale Pasiva Pasane Koti Ho Mata Anale Pasiva Gauranga Gunera Nidhi Kata Gele Kama Gauranga Gunera Nidhi Kota Gele Pava Sakha Sangino Sangye Je Koilo Vila